They're getting ready to carry Ditka doesn't want to go yet. He says, wait till I see that final second. Who's going to argue with Perry? He wins most of those. Walter Payton, Mike Ditka, hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans. 46-10, the final. We'll get the Bears' reaction when we return to the Superdome in New Orleans.
The Bears kept sizzling. The coach kept his cool. And as always, when you put it all together, the combination is unbeatable. McDonald's new McDLT.
Well, in almost every sport, Merlin Olsen, you win with good defense, and the Bears just tacked that one on the wall a little more firmly.
Yeah, we said look at that offensive line for the New England Patriots and see what they were doing to control the Bears defense. It didn't happen, Dick.
Who did?
There weren't many Bears that were controlled today.
Miami the only answer, and we'll be back with NFL 85 after these messages from your local station.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
Did your team win?
My team lost 4 weeks ago.
At least you have the last precinct to look forward to.
Hey, yeah, and I don't have to wait till next year for it either.
In Chicago, the Windy City, the word around town is German.
Bex.
Bex, the #1 imported German beer in Chicago.
And they're up. Number 7 on the outside going to the lead.
Win $1,000, a trip to Switzerland, a new car, or thousands of other cash and weekly prizes playing the exciting new TV game show, Dominic's Let's Go to the Races. Get free race cards at all Dominic's, and don't miss the fun, wherever you are.
Again, number 1 on the outside. What a finish. Very close between numbers 1 and 6.
Brought to you by Dominic's and these fine co-sponsors.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way? Midway, Midway, talking about Midway, Midway.
This is WMAQ-TV, Chicago.
So the Chicago Bears are champions of Super Bowl 20. A commanding performance, 46-10, and the long drought in Chicagoland is over.
And I'm sure there's great pain throughout the New England area as they sense this shattering defeat. It wasn't just a defeat, it was a shattering defeat, Dick. And, you know, the interesting thing for me, so much of what happens in a game is established in the opening tempo. And it looked like New England was going to get off to such a good start. They had the chance, that they got the fumble. They had a chance at 7 points. They ended up with 3 points. But then things just fell apart as the Bears just attacked them and took the momentum away from them and then never looked back.
Well, they're going through the ritual now down in the Chicago Bear locker room of a prayer, and Mike Ditka with a word to his team. And as soon as we get word, we'll go down to Bob Costas and we'll give the presentation of the trophy, the Lombardi Trophy, to the Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears. We'll return to the Superdome in New Orleans, but first we pause for these important words.
Presenting the Volkswagen GTI. Car and Driver calls it one of the 10 best cars of 1986.
What you say?
Celebrate. Buy a new GTI by February 28th, and Volkswagen will give you back up to a full year's interest. Get the deal of the year on one of Car and Driver's 10 best cars of 1986.
What you say?
If you're waiting to buy a personal computer, you may have questions about power, expandability, and dollars and cents. For the complete answer, take a close look at IBM. An IBM PC runs thousands of programs, expands easily, and prices are better than ever. So don't wait. Once you take the first step, the rest come easy. IBM Personal Computers.
Wednesday on Highway to Heaven.
I'm in her body and she's in mine.
You'll scream when Mark tries life as a woman. Then it's Black's Magic Hollywood Whodunit.
I love this movie.
When the producer winds up on the cutting room floor. And on St. Elsewhere.
I've got AIDS. This young man just found out he's going to die. Maybe I deserve this. Thank God it's not me.
Wednesday.
There's the jubilation in the Chicago Bears locker room. Let's go down to Bob Costas.
All right, Dick, thank you very much. Standing here with Commissioner Pete Rozelle, the chairman of the board, Edward McCaskey, the president of the club, Michael McCaskey, for the presentation of the Lombardi Trophy. The commissioner.
Well, Ed, you're, of course, Virginia's husband, the daughter of George Hallis. The Monsters, the Midway, have really returned with the biggest win in Super Bowl history. Only one loss in a 17-1 season. I guess in at least one respect, it's probably well that you won, because otherwise the person who founded this league, George Hallis, might have come back and taken his league away from us.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. I'd like to say that on behalf of Min Hallis, Muggs Hallis, Coach George Hallis, I accept this trophy with pride, and I present it to Michael McCaskey, our president, who led us through this year of victory. Michael, the trophy is yours to thank your people.
Thanks very much, Dad. Thank you, Commissioner. This is only possible when a lot of people in the Bear family put out their best effort. So thanks to a great group of players, a superb coaching staff, a real strong front office. This is ours. We're going to try and do it again. And this is it, the Super Bowl trophy. Thank you.
Mike Ditka, the head coach of the world champions. Back in 1940, the Bears beat the Redskins in a title game 73-0. This wasn't quite as devastating. It'll have to do. 46-10 for the 46 defense. Congratulations, Mike.
Bob, his birthday would have been on February 2nd. This is a fitting birthday gift for Mr. Hallis.
How often during the game did you think of George Hallis?
I always think of Coach Hallis. It's because of him I'm here.
Last year in the NFC title game, you lost to a San Francisco team that went 18-1, same as your team this year. You've either coached or played against Lombardi's Packers, and you've been with Landry's Cowboys and Noel Steelers. How does this team rank with the great teams of all time?
Well, give us a few years. We'll be able to tell you a little bit better. Not 1 year.
At what point during the season did you sense that your team had greatness within it?
I think when we pulled together in San Francisco, that was the first time. And then I think when Jim went down and Steve came in and we played the great game against the Cowboys, I thought we were a little bit better than average.
Who gets the game balls today?
Everybody in the organization. Ask Mike. It's going to be expensive, but we're giving one to everybody.
We did it before, but it stands for the strength of the organization. Everybody in the organization gets one.
Did a great job.
Before we let you go, Mike, you played on a championship team 63 with the Bears, Super Bowl winner with the Cowboys. How does it compare being the coach of the Super Bowl champions?
Well, it's the greatest feeling in the world to be part of a winning organization. It took a few years to build it, but I think we're going in the right direction, and good Lord willing, we can keep it up for a number of years to come.
If you had a few seconds to address the fans back in Chicago, what would you say?
It was a long wait, but it was worth it. Long wait, but it was worth it. I tell you, a lot of dreams have been fulfilled, and a lot of frustrations have been ended.
We'll be back with more from the Happy Bears locker rooms, champions of Super Bowl 20 in just a moment. But first, back upstairs to Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen.
All right, Bob Costas, and typical of Mike Ditka, very much a reserved acceptance. He still is looking ahead to the future. The Bears are Super Bowl champions of number 20.
There have been some important changes in 86 car owner manual recommendations that Pennzoil wants you to know about. These two motor oils, 5W30 and 10W30, have the only multi-grade viscosities recommended for all new GM, Ford, and Chrysler 4-cylinder and small 6-cylinder engines. Use Pennzoil 5W30 for winter, 10W30 for summer. Check your owner's manual and then protect your small car with Pennzoil.
The standard of protection since 1889.
Thanks a lot, Citibank. You had to make your Visa and MasterCard better than other banks. Just by using them, we earn bonuses called Citi Dollars. Now, they could have saved us up to 40% on a color TV or a stereo. But we used ours to get something strictly for Vincent's amusement.
Oh, isn't it wonderful?
Citibank's Visa and MasterCard. It's Citibank that makes them better.
When you send a package to Europe, do you get that sinking feeling that it could be anywhere? Here, there, out of your hands, lost. Well, now Federal Express is going to Europe. We'll make sending a package there as easy and reliable as it is here. With 2-day service to Paris, Frankfurt, Zurich, Brussels, London, and Amsterdam. On our own planes. Now that you know Federal Express is going to Europe, why fool around with anyone else?
It's their first TV movie together.
One was enough.
Bob Hope and Don Amici up to their necks in bodies and beauties. A masterpiece of murder. Then, world terrorism. What has it done to Americans living and traveling in Europe? Has it made vacations too dangerous? Roger Mudd reports from Rome. Tomorrow on American Almanac.
Jim McMahon, Jim, I see you've added yet another headband. When is the supply exhausted?
Tell you what, I had a bunch of headbands sent to me this week, and sorry I couldn't wear them all, but you know, I appreciate everything that the fans did for me this week. You know, there was a lot of controversy and stuff, but tried to put it out of my mind and let us play. And tell you what, this team is one hell of a football team. I'm proud to be associated with these guys in this room. And you know, I'd like to thank my family. You know, they put up with me all week, and my parents. Thanks, I love you.
You mentioned some controversy. Are you pleased with what you perceive as your image across the country? Is it accurate?
No, it's not accurate, but I can't do nothing about it now. You know, I'm out here to help this ball club win, and hopefully I did some good things today to you know, to help us win. I try to put all other stuff out of my mind and just play football, because that's what I'm here for, and I think the score proved it.
How much fun out there today?
I tell you, it started off a little rough. I screwed up. I called the wrong play when Wally fumbled. That was my fault. And other than that, I think we played pretty well on offense.
What was the play supposed to be?
Well, it was supposed to be a slant play, but to the other side, and I just had a mental lapse, you know, early in the ball game. Just one of those things that you know, shouldn't have happened and did, and we just overcame it.
What were some of the comments made in the huddle after you had the game in command and you were having some fun out there? What was it like in the Bears huddle?
Well, it was fun in the huddle. I mean, we just wanted to, you know, start running the football and get some time off the clock and go home. I mean, you know, it would have been great to score another few points, but, you know, we'll take a win, and I think we proved to everybody around the nation that this football team belongs where we're at right now.
There were some occasional hard feelings out there between Bear players and the Patriots. You were involved sometimes. What was that like? What words were exchanged?
You know, I think once you get down like they got down, it was just frustration set in. There was a few cheap shots thrown and a lot of words being thrown back and forth, but that's, you know, that's pretty much that's football. You know, we just didn't try to get involved with it. Just go ahead and keep playing, put the pressure on them, and you know, here we are.
Will they be doing the Super Bowl shuffle in Chicago tonight?
I'm sure they will. You know, I'm going to be doing a little shuffling myself. That's why I want to get out of here.
Shuffle on down to Bourbon Street?
No, I'm going to stay away from Bourbon Street. I got some family here. I'll spend some time with them and relax. Got an early flight in the morning.
Congratulations, Jim.
Thanks.
Let's go back upstairs to Dick and Merlin.
Yeah, almost swallowed his tobacco. I'm not sure anyone's going to believe that he isn't going to shuffle tonight.
Jim McMahon, one of the many stars, the gloved quarterback of the Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears.
Just about any personal computer does a better day's work with the help of an IBM Pro Printer. The Pro Printer produces high-speed drafts and clear graphics. It prints with near letter quality and turns out single sheets and envelopes without removing the computer paper. Best of all, the Pro Printer costs less than $550. For a better day's work, get the Pro Printer from IBM for the finishing touch.
You're on your way. The world is opening its doors.
Dear Dad,
Just got back from my interview with Dow. Sounds like my kind of research. Finding new ways to grow more food, ways to help sick people. I'm gonna go for it, Dad. And I'm gonna try to make you proud.
Yes, you can make a difference in what tomorrow brings.
Love, David.
Cause Dow makes you do great things.
So, the Bears won. Big deal. I just got back up to a year's interest on my car loan by buying a new Volkswagen GTI. Now that's a big deal.
I told my brother I just bought the best-selling European import in America, and he said, "You bought a BMW?" I said, "No." "You bought a Mercedes?" I said, "No." "You bought a Volvo?" I said, "No." He said, "A Saab?" I said, "No."
Get ready for Sunday the Great.
That's creativity.
With a special all-new Cosby Show.
It's a beautiful experience.
It's on Sunday for 1 week only.
Sold.
And on all-new Amazing Stories.
You are the laziest child in 10 counties.
Will Mark Hamill's dreams come true? Then the spectacular premiere of Peter the Great next Sunday.
The New England Patriots knew it was over early, so there wasn't that last-minute pain, yet they had to suffer through an entire second half knowing they were a beaten team by the Chicago Bears. But, boy, what a winning coach they had. Many feel he was the coach of the year. Raymond Berry. Ahmad Rashad is with him now.
All right, thanks, Dick. Coach, nothing went right. You guys got a turnover early in the game, and after that, nothing much went right.
Well, I think the Bears won the game on the field where it counts. They performed offensively, they performed defensively. They had kicking game, they didn't have to kick much, but they had the right defense at the right time, and they, I thought played a great football game. Our football team has been winning games the same way the Bears did today, knocking the ball loose from people and getting the football. And I'm really proud of our football team. They've just come so darn far over such a hard road this year and played as consistent a football as any team I've ever been around. And I just don't think there was one more darn thing we could have done today.
Well, now you guys are known for a running team, basically, but you came in the game and all the first few plays were passing plays. What was that strategy?
Well, I wanted to establish the fact that we need to throw the ball. I didn't think we could come into the game and cram the ball down the Bears' throat. And getting our passing game going, I thought was really important to getting some balance back in our offense.
Your impressions of that Bear defense, they really impressed me. Your impressions?
Well, they started out consistently this year, going back to 1984. They have played tremendous football. They've been very fortunate on injuries. They've kept the same guys healthy, and Buddy Ryan does a great job of preparing them, mixing his scheme, and they do a heck of a job executing it. It's the best defense that we've faced this year. We faced them twice.
What about Tony Eason? What was your decision to take him out?
Well, we were a quarter and a half of football, and we hadn't completed a pass yet, and we weren't getting anything going, and we were down 20-3. And it's the hardest decision that, I've got to make because, Tony and Steve Grogan both, by their tremendous performance this year, have gotten us here to the Super Bowl. And I have great confidence in either one of them. And I just determined, early in the year that with those two players that if one of them is a little bit off early in the ball game, not doing too well, I just feel like I've got to try the other one. And so that was my decision today.
All right, Coach, I know it sounds like a hollow statement, but congratulations on a fine season.
Thank you, Alman.
All right, now over to the other locker room with Bob Costas along with Walter Payton.
All right, Ahmad, and you don't have to see the number 34 jersey to know that this is Walter Payton. Walter, was there ever a time during your long career while you were performing so brilliantly and your team was at a level beneath that you felt that this dream would never come true?
Well, you try not to think about it. During the off season when you see people playing in the Super Bowl, you wonder and you say to yourself, are you ever going to get there and see what it feels like? And then it pushes you a little bit harder during that off season to work to try to get there the following year. This team had their minds made up after losing to San Francisco last year that we were going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Can you describe the feeling for you personally?
Right now, it really hasn't sunk in. I don't feel anything. It's one of those things where when you have it in your mind for so long, what it would be like, and then after the actual event happens, it tends to take away from it. Right now, I'm still a little bumped and bruised from the game, and it really hasn't happened yet.
Did you ever have so much fun in a football season? Not just the winning, 18-1, that's obvious, that makes it fun, but the cast of characters and the feeling surrounding this team.
Well, I think the reason we were 18-1 is because of that. Having different personalities, but yet still people with the same common goal in mind, and also people to break some of the pressure away. You got a guy like the refrigerator coming in, Jim McMahon. Nobody knows what he's going to do from day to day. And on the defense, they're coming up with something new every day. So it's made it very easy for us to play at the level we've played this year.
Quickly here, you're already the career rushing leader. Now you have a Super Bowl. In terms of goals, is Walter Payton's career complete?
Not at all. I would like to end up with 18,000 yards.
A little over 3,000 to go, right?
That's right. That means another 3 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more from the Bears locker room as we continue with our coverage of the postgame show, Super Bowl 20 from the Superdome in New Orleans, in just a minute.
Do you know me? I'm one of the best-known cowboys in Texas. But a lot of people don't recognize me in a cowboy hat. So I just carry the American Express card. It can help you out in plenty of tough situations because you never know when you're going to be surrounded by redskins. Howdy.
To apply for the card, look for this display and take one.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Aging, just as important to beer as it is to wine. Aging gives beer something called balance, just the right combination of flavors and aromas. Of course, thinks that aging is so important, they age their beer longer than any other major brewer. They use the time to age out a lot of the heaviness, a lot of the bitter aftertaste you'll find in many other beers. So when you want a beer that's a little smoother, but with all the spirit of a great beer, Coors is the one.
Imagine if something could signal you when you make a spelling mistake. That would mean you'd be able to correct it before anyone else ever saw it. Well, IBM's Selectric System 2000 typewriters with spell check can do that. It's an electronic dictionary that signals you when you misspell a word. So now if you make a spelling mistake, the whole world doesn't have to know.
Next Sunday, NBC presents an epic world premiere event that will take you to a world seldom seen before. Ambitious, brilliant drama. A pinnacle of what TV can do, says the Boston Herald. The incredible drama of Russia's greatest hero, Peter the Great, next Sunday.
All right, we're back now with the game's MVP, Richard Dent, and William the Refrigerator Perry. And first of all, I'm warning you guys, either one of you tries anything funny, you'll pay for it.
Hey, you still have some more left in it.
Still have some more left in you, the fridge says. Richard Dent named the MVP. Contract difficulties earlier, and you talked about not playing in this game. I guess you're glad you didn't pass it up.
Well, I wasn't planning on passing it up. You know, people in Chicago and my mother and father, I'd like to say hello to Mary Dent and my father, Horace Dent, and I'll be seeing her in Hawaii pretty soon, but I couldn't pass up an opportunity like this. You know, it's not often you get here, and, you know, I mean, what can I say, really? I mean, I really appreciate, I tell you, I'm all mixed up right now, but I got a ring, I wear size 11. Chicago will be home, have the parade ready, and see you guys later.
Brian Holloway, he's going to the Pro Bowl, but he couldn't handle you today.
Well, coming into the week, I knew I was going to see this guy twice, you know. I said, well, let me get the first week done, and the second week, you know, it might be a little easier. But it's probably not. You know, we get over there, some guys play, some not, but we've been enjoying it. You know, this week, Mr. King, his birthday, and then him having his day, and, you know, him having a dream, you know, and that's the dream that I had. I had a dream that I really felt that I could really be MVP, and I felt that way all throughout the week for the last 2 weeks, and I was just so anxious to get here. And, you know, it came true, and, you know, that goes for kids. I mean, if you have a dream, you can really get there if you want to, but you got to be a believer to have success like you want it to be.
Congratulations to Richard Dent, the game MVP, and now we turn to the fridge. Not just a football player, but an American folk hero in 1 year. Can you sum it all up, what this season has meant?
Well, I think Coach Dicker for, you know, for giving me a chance to play on offense, and my wife Sherry, and my mother and father. But you know, I can sum it up in a nutshell. But only thing I sum it up is as it is I just thank Coach Dicker for giving me this chance to play on offense, and I thank the Chicago Bears for drafting me #1.
Now, we're going to take a look at some plays. Now, they put the pass play in. It didn't exactly work. This may not be that play. You're blocking on this one. Let us know what happens.
Oh, yeah, I was just a fake dive, and just whoever came my way, I just supposed to, you know, block him and just keep on going. So, you know, Jim McMahon can roll it in, so he did, and he scored.
All right, let's see what happens on this one. You carried for a touchdown at one point, and you also attempted to throw. Here's the TD.
Oh, yes, that was H44 off the left side, and Coach Dicker called that play, and I was just overwhelmed about it when he called it. I was so happy because I thought I was going to get out there and block for Walter and just knock another linebacker down.
You realize you're ahead of Walter Payton in lifetime Super Bowl touchdowns?
Oh no, Walt deserves all the credit about the whole thing, and I just wanted Walter to he deserved this game, and it's for him.
What happened on the attempted pass?
Oh, it was a pass. They called 39 toss, so your fullback pass, and I was rolling out and everything, and just I was supposed to remember like I'm running the ball, then look up for Emory Moorhead. If he wasn't open, I was supposed to just chuck it and run it, so I did. So I didn't want to take a chance of throwing an interception down there.
You mentioned Coach Ditka, how thankful you are to him. What's your relationship like now with Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator who criticized you and publicly early in the year?
Well, you know, you can't say too much about Buddy. Buddy was, he said that just up in Platteville just to motivate me, just to get me going, like he said, light a fire up under me and see what I can do up there and see what he learns from me. But you know, it didn't work. But the whole year long, I've been playing, and he was liking the way I played. So I started 8 or 9 games, and Buddy Ryan he's just a great all-around coach. And Buddy, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't leave, stay right here with us.
All right, last question. Here's the man who has captured the imagination of America, 1 year on the scene, and as we said already, a folk hero. How does the fridge sum up the 1985 season of the Chicago Bears?
Defense played great, the offense played great, the kicking game played great. We all played as a team, and we won as a team, and that's summed the whole thing up.
Well, Dick and Merlin, when the offense plays great, the defense plays great, the special teams play great, you win the Super Bowl. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, good job, Bob Costas. Normally you have to wait till the next morning to look at the final statistics in a Super Bowl game, but we've gathered those for you, and they do tell the story of this 46-10 win.
Actually, they don't tell of the total domination because the Bears were willing to give up some yardage late in the game. But look at the time of possession. The Bears rarely allowed New England a chance to even handle the football.
That was true to their character all year long. They were #1 in the league in holding on to the ball.
And the Bears also were able to turn around that turnover number. They forced more turnovers for New England than any other team has been able to do. In fact, more than they'd had in 3 games.
Total yards, 400 to some 100. You were in that locker room, wins and loses, but the big ones at the end of the year, you usually were defeated.
We lost. I'll tell you, the leaders come out of that locker room, but Dick, to me, this season ended just as they had dreamed it would end in Chicago. It ends with fireworks and celebrations and everybody enjoying this special moment, which they may never have a chance again. For New England, it was a Cinderella story, only it ended at 12 o'clock. There was no prince.
You know, we said the underdog is part of Americana. Richard Dent was the 203rd player picked in the draft. He's the most valuable player in the most important game in pro football today, as the Chicago Bears have won the Super Bowl championship. Yes, the common man can succeed in the United States, and as we pay tribute to the Chicago Bears and all their fans, we also pay tribute to the people behind the scenes, the common man.
There are people in this country who work hard every day, but not for fame or fortune do they strive. But the fruits of their labor are worth more than their pay, and it's time a few of them were recognized. Hello, Detroit auto worker, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. Hello, Pittsburgh steel mill worker, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. This is for the one the factories and the fields, in the city streets and the quiet country towns. Working together like spokes inside a wheel, they keep this country turning around. Hello, Kansas, Wheatfield farmer, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. Hello, West Virginia coal miner, let me thank you for your time. You work a 40-hour week for a living, just to send it on down the line. This is for the one who drives the big rig up and down the road, for the one out in the warehouse bringing in the load, for the waitress, the mechanic, the policeman on patrol, for everyone who works behind the scenes with a spirit you can't replace with no machine. Hello, America, let me thank you for your time.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
This has been a presentation of NBC Sports, the leader in innovative sports television.
This is NBC News Digest, sponsored by Arid XX Solid Musk. Here is John Dancy, NBC News.
Good evening. Bloody fighting in Uganda has left rebel troops.
1 o'clock. And as I said before, all we really need now is the Chicago Bears. They are in town and on the Kennedy Expressway and due momentarily. They landed at O'Hare, I would say, just about an hour ago, and we do have some videotape highlights of the guys getting off the plane. A charter from New Orleans that was a little over an hour late getting out of New Orleans. We are told that there were persons or a person or persons unspecified who were late making it to the plane, and we don't know who they were. Maybe we can find that out later, I suppose, that they had gone so far only to fall as short as they did down in the Superdome yesterday. What you're seeing again for our viewers, these are the Bears coming back to Chicago.
Willie Galt right there.
You bet. As they got off the plane about an hour ago, this is just a videotape replay. They landed at a remote cargo area at the airport. There was no official welcome back, although there were a few die-hard Bears fans at the airport, to be sure. They are being bussed now down to where we are as we come back live, and you can see the scene at LaSalle Street. I'll guarantee you one thing, Dan, this parade is going to take a lot longer than the 4 blocks would indicate from Jackson and LaSalle up north to Washington, and then a block east of Bears Plaza, where you and I are. That sea of humanity out there is going to get in the way. You've got a lot of enthusiastic fans who want to say thank you and welcome home to the Chicago Super Bowl champion Bears.
Well, we don't have a real good shot here. Looking down the street, our monitor's a little cloudy, but it looks as if there's some vehicles out in the crowd right now. The law enforcement officials had said they were going to try to clear LaSalle Street. I don't think there's any way that's going to happen.
Of course, that is the parade route, and they've got a couple of dozen convertibles that have been provided just for this purpose to get the guys from the marshaling area down there at the Chicago Board of Trade. Some enthusiastic fans that are looking forward to the parade. But I'm wondering what kind of a parade it's going to be. You certainly don't want to drive over all of those fans. That would not be the way that you'd want to say thanks for a wonderful season. But there's a whole bunch of people out in the middle of LaSalle Street there as we look south toward the Board of Trade. And I would have some significant question as to whether we're going to have a parade at all. We are looking south again, down LaSalle Street toward the Chicago Board of Trade and toward Jackson, which of course the Board of Trade is located on Jackson Street. And it is there where the Bears were to have marshaled and were to have begun. Now we've got Chicago police officers in the streets trying to clear the way as the ticker tape and all sorts of debris continues to flow down in a rather strong northwest wind. I'll be interested to see, Dan, what the estimates of the crowd size are. These are always so very difficult to do, estimating the size of a crowd like this, because nobody is going to go out and count noses for any particular patch of square footage in concrete. But you have to think there are tens of thousands of fans out here. And brother, look at that paper come down. The early press releases said 10 tons of paper. I would venture to say 10 times 10 tons at least per block. I think Chicago loves its heroes.
There is no question about that fact. It's amazing the number of people that have turned out in this room.
Now, for those of you who are at home and joining us live and watching this welcome home for the Chicago Bears, you may well have one or two reasons to count your blessings. I was walking downtown in the Loop, around 1:30 this afternoon, and traffic was completely snarled. There is no way that you could get across the South.
Buddy Ryan, as it was suggested in the paper, may have been the MVP on defense.
It is unlike him to do anything more than shrug off all of the praise that he has so richly earned over the year. Let me ask you, while we're on the subject of Buddy Ryan, do we need to have any concern about him getting a job out of town?
Well, we don't need to be concerned about the Saints job. It looks like Jim Mora from the USFL will take that one, but there are some other ones open. Buddy's got his mind made up that he wants to go to a franchise that will have an ownership that won't try to stick its hand in at every turn of events. You know, he wants to have pretty much free reign over where he goes, if indeed he gets an offer like that.
Well, it is possible then that the Bears do not have a lock on Buddy Ryan at this point.
I wouldn't say they have a lock on him, but I would say the chances are pretty good that he'll be back. I mean, he loves these guys, and they love him.
His heart has to lie in Chicago.
It'd be awfully tough for him to come back and play against these guys.
I should think that would be true. It would be awfully hard for him to turn down something like this, where you get this kind of a welcome. What you are seeing is Chicago's welcome home for our victorious Super Bowl 20 champion Chicago Bears. It's a relatively short parade route, but it's taking a long time for them to go the 4 blocks north on LaSalle Street from Jackson to Washington, and then move east on Washington, that 1.5 blocks to Bears Plaza at the Daily.
How they're clearing a path. They've got what look like some giant tow trucks out, and they're sort of an advanced caravan going up to kind of part the sea of people.
This really, I can't even use the words right. This is bigger than anyone expected.
Signs like this, Go Bears, are in every single building, as well as well wishes and the names of favorite players.
I think that State's Attorney Daley's office, he's had that sign up for a couple of weeks now. There's one other sign. It wouldn't be Chicago. There's a political sign. Oh, it's been gone. Someone tore it down. It was one of the political candidates, who will go nameless, shuffling with the Bears. You bet.
Well, you know, that's all everyone is talking about. I know coming down here this morning, just walking on the street, everyone that you passed was talking about the game.
Sure.
And I don't know if anybody has talked about anything except this celebration today.
Well, we're going to be back for more of the celebration. The next time we're back and we get a close-up, I want Jim Grabowski to show you his Super Bowl ring and what these Bears are going to soon be wearing. We'll be back in a minute.
Attacking the right side of the Patriots, or of his own offense, the left side of the defense, cuts back against the grain between the linebackers.
Right now, for only $1, you can get fashion eyeglass frames regularly $9 to $49 for just $1 at the optical department at Montgomery Ward.
In the right. Number 7 on the outside going to the lead.
Win $1,000, a trip to Switzerland, a new car, or thousands of other cash and weekly prizes playing the exciting new TV game show, Dominic's Let's Go to the Races. Get free race cards at all Dominic's, and don't miss the fun, wherever you are.
Again, number 1 on the outside. What a finish. Very close between numbers 1 and 6.
Brought to you by Dominic's and these fine co-sponsors.
Tuna casserole, goodbye. They own meatloaf, don't try. Hot dogs I've had lots lately. Grilled cheese is great. great, but once a week is plenty, baby. Give me something that's new. Beef and taters to chew. Crisp through and through. Hearty too. Mary Kitchen hash, I love you. Take back your tuna, meatloaf, and cheese. It's Mary Kitchen hash, please.
There we are. Cheering the crowd. They're cheering. You're right, Ronnie. It's sinking in now. All right.
Hey. Number one. The crowd in Daly Center. The crowd in Daly Center seeing the same picture on the big Diamond Vision screen that you're seeing in your home right now, and that's why there was that roar of approval. They're all climbing on top of the bus. Do you believe it?
They're seeing the same thing on the big monitor that we're seeing, and that's what the big roar is coming up for.
That's right.
Well, also, you can tell from that angle that they're just a half a block away from the corner of Washington and LaSalle. And, of course, that's where we are.
Another bus pushing its way through the motor train. And all the time, ticker tape, paper, business papers, and heavens knows what flying through the air here.
Or are they having fun now?
It's good to see that the players are enjoying it as much as the crowd is.
How can they not enjoy this? I mean, it's infectious. It's contagious.
I was thinking how great it is to be going to Hawaii for the players who are going. But, you know, it's sort of a shame they have to miss this, because after the season and after everything that's happened, stand up and take a bow, but be careful on top of that bus, guys.
Orchestrating the crowd like they have all year long.
Now, I was just thinking.
Is that Mike Ditka right at
It looks like
in
Mike.
front, over on the right of the screen
That's
there?
Mike.
Oh, that's the bus driver, sorry.
Mike McCaskey. I think Mike Dick is next to him. I was going to say, you know, this was the last year for the Honey Bears as the official team cheerleaders. If they need a replacement, I don't know how much you can hear on your television set. I think they should take Tim Weigel. He has got this crowd going crazy.
In the spirit with the ticker tape.
Enjoy how sweet it is.
Earlier we saw people here on the plaza, and they had big, huge garbage bags just full of shredded paper and ticker tape, and so there's a lot. There's going to be more confetti waiting for the Bears once they hit Daly Plaza. You can see some of it there on the side.
And if you'll just look at this crowd, if you'll recall, they're late, so they've been out here waiting for a long time.
This square, the plaza started filling up around noontime.
Look at that Super Bowl sweater. Fantastic looking sweater. Great.
All right. We keep saying it. One of these moments is going to be true. They're going to be here. But while they're making their way to the plaza, enjoy. We'll be right back.
Now, Joel, it looks as if some members of the team have also climbed out on the roof of that second bus as well. And they're all sitting up there like it was a sunny day in June in Chicago.
It is a sunny day.
Enjoying the crowd.
Well, you can get caught up in it very easily just being out here. And as it goes along, the crescendo rises and you get caught up in it and you don't notice the cold.
Oh, my goodness.
All the paper shredders have been busy today. Look at that.
You're so right, Ronnie. You know, I don't feel quite as cold as I did earlier. It's getting to all of us now. The adrenaline is starting to flow. Everybody's excited.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with it. You know, in a lot of games that we played in, it was cold when it started, but as you get into it, you didn't notice the cold. And I think the crowd is feeling that way right now, and the players too.
I was going to say the players, most of whom don't even have overcoats, they don't look a bit cold. There's again a shot from Skycam.
Looks like they're doing a little cheerleading of their own from atop the bus.
I'm not real good at estimating crowds. The last time we had a parade up LaSalle Street, they said 10,000, and they were about 20 deep. They've got to be 3 or 4 times larger just on LaSalle Street alone, and this plaza is wall to wall.
A lot of people that have poured out of offices, a lot of people that have come from around the loop. But you know, Joel, I think a lot of people that made a conscious trip to come down to Chicago to be here for the rally. A lot lot of people are prepared. They brought blankets with them.
It's a great crowd. It's real orderly. There's just a communion here.
Surging forward, you get a look at that podium, and everybody's moving forward now. It's a very orderly group of people. A party atmosphere.
And a lot of these people back here on Washington can't even see the podium from where they're standing. Except for the big screen, they wouldn't know what's going on. They don't care.
It's one of the trucks out here, one of the city trucks stopped out here, and if it stopped long enough, everyone climbed up on top of it, so it's not going anywhere. They want that advantage to see.
Now, how do you like that bear hat, Joe, or panda hat, as the case may be?
Now, there's a tough guy. That's Steve McMichael there in the open shirt there and the sport coat, kicking off some of the ticker tape. Boy, shows you how tough he is.
What a day he had. He had something to prove, and he did it.
Well, he said he wasn't going to celebrate until they won the last one. Now I'm sure he's doing a lot of celebrating.
Ronnie, we may see about 3 weeks of celebration out of McMichael.
It's going to be beyond me, Joel, to see how they get off the top of that bus and over to the podium, because there's just no clear path. The Chicago police have moved in. You see a sign there, Chicago Ukrainians love Mike Ditka.
I guess they do.
Police have moved in, but they don't seem to be making a lot of headway, because as the police are moving in, the crowd is also seeming to surge over that way. We can see people moving now here along Washington and moving over from Dearborn, so the motion is sort of over toward the city-county building.
Jim mentioned earlier that he couldn't recall another city that had a victory celebration quite so enthusiastic or spontaneous. Every time there is a celebration like this, a comment is made about how the community comes together and what a great feeling it is to be a citizen of that city. I couldn't feel more proud to be a Chicagoan. I couldn't feel happier to be in the middle of this today.
I agree with you so much, Joe. I mean, I was born and raised here, grew up on the northwest side, and I, like yourself, I feel so glad that I'm part of this. Sitting here, it's just thrilling to me.
Well, so you're looking at it from Chicago. I'm a little fella from Texas. I've been caught up into it. I've adopted Chicago. Chicago's my home now, and you can see why just by the enthusiasm that they have over this winning team.
Up, led by our Tim Weigel.
We're number one.
We're number one is the cheer.
Well, the motorcade is stopped completely. You can see it from Skycam. They're just absolutely stopped. There's no way they're going to be able to move through that crowd until they can get some people to step back. And no one wants to move. Indeed, they may not be able to.
Going great. The buses are moving much better now.
Shows you the cooperation of this crowd. They've asked them to step back so the players can get on the podium, and they're cooperating with them. So with all the enthusiasm, they still want the players to get out there so they can all give them a rounding cheer.
Ronnie, do you know who that was that made his way through the crowd? He's got to be a defensive back or something.
I thought the big fella I thought was Hartenstein, but it's hard to tell from this vantage point.
Well, it had to be someone who could push through this crowd.
Well, you know, a bigger fella does get your attention a little bit easier.
Well, you know what they ought to do is have the fridge just clear the way.
That's all they'd have to do, have him step on it and just say separate, and I think they'd do it.
That's right, that's right. Or what was that good line yesterday? That was 3.8 on the Richter scale right. when he went over the line.
You know, Jim Grabowski was kind of anxious to get out here today. He's got a couple of new enterprises, some ice cream stores. You probably do a very bad business today, Jim.
Joe, there's no doubt about it. I'm surprised if we're open today, frankly. Who's going to buy ice cream on a day like today? But certainly when it gets warm, they'll be at the door, I hope.
That's right. That's right.
This welcome has actually stopped the Bears cold. Chicago is the only, as a group, is the only group to stop the Bears this year outside of Miami. But they're stopped now.
All right, here they come.
Here they go.
Escort. Now,
There's the trophy. All right, the Vince Lombardi Super Bowl trophy.
A police escort. That's
Mike McCaskey carrying the trophy. Yeah, carrying the trophy.
You know, I don't think he's had it out of his arms since last night.
No, probably not. Can you blame him? Can you blame him a bit?
I don't think I would either.
He carried it like a little child everywhere he went.
There we go. Looky there.
Bringing it home to Chicago. Mike McCaskey, president.
That's not only the Bears, that's Chicago.
He's approaching the podium now.
There goes the bark.
Just about to the steps. The Bears working their way with police escort through that crowd over along the Diamond Vision screen. And there's Mike.
There's Virginia McCaskey.
All right. Now listen to this crowd.
Listen to that crowd.
Okay, Chicago.
Super Bowl champion! The Chicago Bears in 1985!
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael McCaskey, the Chicago Bears.
I can't tell you what a great moment this is for all of us Chicago Bears. Today, in this country, everybody is a Chicago Bear fan. Our Bear family has a dream, and that's to be a championship ball club. The players, the coaches, the staff have worked hard and long to make it happen. It happened. We are the Super Bowl champs. Woof, 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 woof. Yeah. It couldn't have happened without superb players. And there are a lot I could mention. Samurai, the Colonel, Double D, Jimbo. It goes on and on. But if you had to mention one, player, it would have to be Walter Payton. You bet. When the crowd started chanting, Walter, Walter, in that Superdome.
Walter, 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 Walter.
That's exactly right. He's earned that respect. He's earned that respect as a man and as a football player. He can stand for the Chicago Bears. We also had to have superb coaching. We have in Mike Ditka, a coach who, better than any other, stands for the values of Papa Bear Hallis. He stands for toughness. He stands for a joy in competing, and he hates like hell to lose. That's Mike Ditka. There are also other people in the Bear organization of whom I am very proud and to whom I am most thankful. Jerry Venisi, Bill Tobin, and all the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Chicago. All right. I'd just like to say thank you for your support. It was a total team and city effort. Credit goes to the Chicago Bears organization, our players, our coaches, our wives. I just want to thank you fans for your support. We brought a championship home to Chicago. Thank you.
to be sort of an official plaque presentation, but you know, Joel, I think that the mayor, as well as Mike McCaskey and all the people who are organizing this rally have just kind of given way to the spirit of the day, which is let it happen the way it's going to happen.
All right, we brought it home for you. All right, we're number one, and we're going to stay that way.
Henry Moorhead.
Henry Moorhead.
Born and raised in Evanston, Illinois.
Place kicker Kevin Butler. Hey! Isn't this sweet? Hey, we just make your plans for Pasadena, because that's where we're stopping next year. One more time.
What a year he had.
Mungo, Steve McMichael.
Steve, there he is. Mungo.
I just have one thing to say. We all have bragging rights over the whole goddamn country.
One thing about McMichaels, he doesn't mince words.
No, he doesn't.
And you know, the crowd loves him for it here today. People standing on tiptoes, people on other people's shoulders, trying to get a look.
We got bear weather to come back to. It's great to be home, and we're getting ready for next year. We're number one. We have a plaque here for the owners of the Chicago Bears, Mr. Mike McClaskey. Here's a plaque for that great team and that great ownership.
All right. Very handsome. Thank you very much.
NFL Super Bowl number 20 champion.
All right. Thank you.
You know, the idea was that the players were going to all sit in those white chairs on the platform.
Best laid plans, but today, Joel, who cares?
As you said, Marianne, all the plans have gone by the wayside.
I think so.
For this program. The crowd has just taken it out of it.
But the Bears don't seem to mind. They seem delighted by the whole thing. They're kind of milling around up there, wrapped in blankets.
This is a love feast.
Of Marshall Field, Mr. Miller, to make a presentation.
This is the Waterford Super Bowl football for Mike McCaskey and the team. Let's give him a big cheer. That's a beautiful crystal from Marshall Field.
That was presented by Phil Miller, who's president, or CEO, I should say, of Marshall Fields.
A beautiful piece. It'll look nice next to that Lombardi trophy. Should go side by side. Now we get to keep that trophy till next year, right, Ronnie?
Yes, we get to keep it.
Let's keep it for a few years.
Yeah.
The rest of the players can't get off the bus.
Go Bears. There's the Picasso.
We're number one.
I wonder if old Pablo would get as enthusiastic.
And a few more people have joined that lonely Picasso sitter, trying just to get a view. You know, earlier we mentioned some tow trucks that were leading the procession in. They've been immobilized now because people have climbed on top of tow trucks, we can see, to try to catch a glimpse.
Be careful. Get home safely. Get home safely.
You know, I think the mayor's a little happy. Aren't we all?
We can do what we want to do. And hey, the offense came out there and played their game. The special teams played their part. Everybody, had one thing in mind, is to be the world champs. And it feels good, Chicago. We brought it home, like I said.
I just wish I could say what I'm feeling now, but I can't. I just want the fans to know that I really appreciate them standing by me and all the love that they've given me and showed me through getting here.
This is the greatest thing that's happened to the city in a long, long time. And I'll tell you what, the city deserves it, the team deserves it, and by God, it's all been the greatest things that ever happened to me, Johnny. The greatest things.
Those were some of the guys who went to the Pro Bowl, and they're in Hawaii right now. Taped messages to the citizens of Chicago. Yeah, I'm sure they hated to miss this.
I know they did, but you know, something that he said that's something that I've said all along. Walter Payton, I think I'm most happy for him. You know, here's a guy that set every record that could be set and a shoe-in for the Hall of Fame. The one thing was missing was that Super Bowl ring. Now he's got that.
Yes.
Well, this crowd, the ceremony is over, incidentally. This crowd isn't through celebrating.
Nobody wants to go back to work. No one intends to go back to school, Joe. However, the buses are still rather immobilized over there, so it might be a while before they're able to leave this area.
Actually, I think, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a while before we get to go anywhere. We're in the middle of this.
That's right.
We want to thank Ronnie Bull, great player of the past from the 60s, Jim Grabowski.
Thank you, Jim.
University of Illinois, native Chicagoan, a Green Bay Packer, a Chicago Bear, our friend, all of you. Mary Ann, thanks for keeping me warm.
You know it.
Back to Harry Porterfield in the studio. Bye now.